It's been a while. It has been a while since I've been on doing this podcast. And I have an audio one now that's called The Mouthpiece. You catch that on Spotify. And I've been doing that. I've been shooting those ones out. Those are like more detailed into like undercard, just covering every fight on there, making my like breaking them down, making predictions. That's like a detailed podcast. So I'm gonna use this is more just like my takes, big stories happening, fighting things I think that need to go in depth covered, right? This is like a shorter form, so this is why I'm here today because big news happening in boxing. The landscape is changing in boxing, and today Teofimo, right? So the way boxing works is you have titles, right? There's IBF, WBO, WBC, WBA. And honestly, most of them are just nonsense, right? They have the weirdest rules on who is deserving of a title shot. They cost the fighter money. It ruins like big fights because the fighter has to defend his mandatories to keep the belt. And Teofimo, and so usually I want to get rid of all the belts, right? I want to get rid of all of them. But usually there's a strategy, right, that no one's thinking of, or there's a thing that could happen. That could make these things actually useful. That's where we're at right now. That these things might actually be useful after all, because what happened today, right? It's gonna change. This is a big step in changing the landscape of boxing. And if people want to get into boxing, right? If someone has the bankroll to get into boxing and they see a possibility here to make money, possibility on how to get fighters, right? And this might be the blueprint that the UFC uses eventually, Zuffa boxing, to get in. And I know maybe Zuffa boxing is not going to ever happen, right? Maybe Dana White couldn't figure it out. But maybe the person that figures it out isn't exactly the person that executes it. He's just the person that swings open the door. And today, Triller, right? So let's go back. I'm getting ahead of myself. Teofimo Lopez beats Lomachenko, takes a chance. Doesn't get paid really probably what he should have been paid. Gets paid about $1 million to fight, million some plus some. He beats Lomachenko, top pound for pound fighter in the world. He's only 22, 23 years old. Takes a big opportunity to do that. From there, he wants a bigger guarantee on his money. His minimum, he wants it to go up. The minimum, they said, is 1.25. His minimum before was about 750. Now he's going to fight a mandatory for his IBF title, who is Cambros. Cambros is not a big name in boxing. I guarantee that everyone listening to this, unless they're diehard, does not know who Cambros is, right? Has no interest in watching Cambros fight. Would have to YouTube him and if YouTube wouldn't even be sure if you're watching the right guy unless it said the name at the bottom, right? For that fight, Teofimo wanted $2 to $3 million for that fight. Bob Arum, who's been in this game forever, right? Who's wrote the rules on the game, right? And around the promotion and seen it all, said, no, I'm not going to pay you that. I think that's the right move. I don't think that Cambros fight really sells. It doesn't. Now, I'm with Teofimo wanting all the money that he feels like he deserves because he fought Lomachenko and took a pay cut. But remember, there's not exactly crowds back yet. And if there is, they're still at a minimum. It's no way you can sell that fight as a main event on a pay-per-view. Just can't. So Teofimo says, no, I'm not going to take that. So what happens with these mandatories, right, is he has to defend the belt. And the promoter can't stop it because it's got to go. So what happens is he gets the mandatory. It goes to a purse bid. And then any promotion can bid on it. It doesn't mean they take the fighter. They just take him for that one fight. They still have to pay. You still have to pay a portion of your check to the promotion. But anyone could bid on it. Anyone could get it. So Top Rank puts a bid on it, right? They put exactly what they told him, his minimum plus whatever a little bit on top for Cambros. Matchroom, who had with DAZN trying to get more fights on their schedule, puts a bid on it, $3 million. You got $1 million from Top Rank, $3 million from Matchroom. Triller, out of nowhere, comes in with a $6 million offer. Teofimo's bet on himself twice. Bet on himself with Lomachenko. Bet on himself now with this purse bid. Pays off big. He's going to get paid $4 million. Cambros is going to get paid $2 million. Cambros fought Lee Shelby to get to his position. I thought he lost to Lee Shelby to win here. Lee Shelby must be like putting his head against a wall right now that he lost that fight, because Cambrose is going to get paid more than he will ever get paid in the rest of his fighting career. He's going to get $2 million on a fight that really is a tune-up. Now, there's a few ways to look at this, right? A few ways to say, well, look at Teofimo knew his worth, and he was right, Bob Arum was wrong. Another way to look at it is Triller are idiots. They don't know the boxing game. They put a bunch of money into something that is not going to return on value. You're not going to get any return on that. I think they're both right. You could take both sides, but they're both right. Bob Arum is not wrong on not wanting to pay him more for this fight. This fight has really, besides the Teofimo, there's no selling ability to this fight. Like, I can't see, what are you going to do with that fight? What are you going to pay him $3 million for? I can't see it. There's Cambrose doesn't bring a name. No one knows who Cambrose is. Teofimo is known, but he's not a superstar in boxing. He just isn't. He isn't. Yeah, he has all the potential to be. There's plenty of fights out there that would sell on pay-per-view. Him versus Ryan Garcia, him versus Tank Davis, maybe even a rematch with Lomachenko. But this fight right here is not. It's not that. Now, but Teofimo was right to say, I want to go out there in the open market. I think there's more money in this fight, and there will. And now Triller bought it, right, for $6 million. They are not going to get return on value on that. Now, they're going to package that with some celebrity fights, with a Mike Tyson fight. They're going to do some kind of, gimmick with it, which maybe as a whole package will be worth it to them, right? But most likely, from just looking at the way Triller's doing it, they're not in here. They're not going to last the long haul, just because if they think that this fight's worth $6 million, they have no idea of the market for boxing. But there will always be a Triller. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying, is that maybe they open the door. They're not the ones to execute it properly, but they open the door to now a company coming in saying, I don't want consistent fighters. I just want these mandatories. I just want to put money in to say, I'll make this matchup. You don't want to put the money in Top Rank. You don't want to put the money in PBC. I'll put the money in. I'll pay you your percent of, for management, promotion fees, whatever it is. And I'm going to collect all the pay-per-view, all the attendance, ticket purchases. I'm going to collect all that. There's a market here for that. Teofimo getting paid this for this fight is, like I told you, is groundbreaking. It changes the whole game. And if you could go to a bidding system, right, which Canelo's doing, right? Canelo's fighting this weekend. He did this in another way of just bring a free agent, right? And he's going to be a free agent fight after fight, where he's going to get $20 million to fight Yildirim. He's going to fight Yildirim, who no one knows, who has zero chance of winning the fight, who is nowhere near the skill level to fight Canelo, right? He's going to get paid $20 million for it. It's going to pay off now, right? In fighting, it's going to pay off if you're a big name to be a free agent fight after fight and just let the highest bidder get you. People keep saying that boxing's dead or they're losing money. Obviously not. They're obviously not losing money, because Matchroom still threw $3 million at this fight. So there is money in there. People saying that DAZN's going under. Where are they getting this money from? Why would they, anyone that does a business, why would you keep throwing money at something that's getting burned? It's not happening. These guys are still successful. Bob Arum is still making a lot of money. Eddie Hearn is still making a lot of money. These promotions are still making money. And Triller made so much off the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, Jake Paul, Nate Robinson, that they're like, I'm willing to take this chance. And they're probably just working off the profits they made before. So they're not at risk really anymore. They're like, I'm going to work off the profits we made here and see if we could build a consistent brand, right? Of celebrity fights with real fights with, they don't need a stable of fighters. They're not looking for that. So now these fights, right, that, there's good matchups out there, right? Devin Haney, right? If you're Matchroom, like say Top Rank is going to make $700,000 off of this thing. They're not doing any promotion. They're not doing anything. They're just going to sit back and watch. Hopefully their product is, if Teofimo got knocked out on here, this is where it would backfire for Top Rank, right? Because at least if he got knocked out on their thing, they would have some kind of deal to keep Cambrose for a rematch. I think they lost out on all that. I don't think they have that, right? But so say he got knocked out, that would be a bad blow for Top Rank. But right now, he's probably going to win. He's probably going to win in devastating fashion. And Top Rank's gonna bring him back into my thing. They're gonna make $700K on that. They're gonna bring him back. He's gonna have a whole new audience, like the Triller guy says. Now I don't get Bob Arum's. I don't get Bob Arum saying, "Oh, I'm gonna, Tiafimo's not gonna get paid when he comes back. He's not gonna get paid this, or he's not." What's the point of saying all that? I don't know. I don't know. Bob Arum's just an old cranky old man, and that's the part where they're going wrong with this. But I don't think it was bad for anyone. Really don't. It wasn't bad for the fighters. It wasn't bad for the promoter because Top Rank really didn't care for this fight. They really didn't want this fight. They didn't. And now they get $700K for a fight they didn't want. And now Triller's gonna package it. And there's always gonna be that guy to package these fights. There's always gonna be someone to come in and say, "I will pay for this." Groundbreaking, like amazing thing that happened today. And purse bids and titles can now be used as a strategically to. If I'm Terrence Crawford, right, and I want to fight Earl Spence, I would just focus on one bout and say, who do I have to beat to get my way up the rankings of the IBF? How do I become this guy's mandatory? That way we can go past the Top Rank promotion, we can go past the PBC promotion, and we can go to a purse bid, which would be max dollars because everyone's going to want that fight. If Teofimo and Cambros made $6 million, I'm so curious what Canelo can make in a purse bid. I'm so curious what a Canelo Triple G can make in a purse bid. I'm so curious what Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford can make in a purse bid. Everyone's eyes open on this. There's a new way of doing business here, and there's a way for a third party that doesn't own fighters. They can put money and take these and take these fights and make some, big fights, right? Can make some big fights and and not have to say I have to guarantee him a fight after this against a lesser opponent or something like that. Where I think that's honestly where people are losing money. Big thing, and I think Eddie Hearn was all smiles after it, and I think that these guys are seeing the potential of what this could be. Now, Bob Arum is an old school guy. I don't know if he's Bob Arum's in his 80s. He's getting older and older. He's almost out the game, and I don't think that he sees what this could be. But that's because he's in a place where in his life where he's not ready to do something all brand new or change the method of the game he's been doing. And I think that the game is changing. The boxing game is changing. And these new third parties that come in and want to make a splash, right, and want to try to do something, they're going to always drop big bucks, just like DAZN did. Now, it's these promotions, they have to try to keep their fighters. So that makes them spend money. For some reason, when I always think the boxing is almost out of money, because I wouldn't have paid Teofimo. If I was a promotion, I would not pay Teofimo big for this fight. I would have paid him his minimum. I would have thrown his minimum at him, and I would have been honestly grateful that someone else took this fight. But now that there's these third party, they're going to force people to pay fighters. And it's good for the fighters. Honestly, it's good for the promoters that if someone's willing to take these mandatories off their hands sometimes. If they're, they just want the name and they want to put it on a card and they have another fight that they think that'll build up if you put a big name on there. That is good for the fighters, good for the promoters, interesting, changes the game. And I think purse bids are going to be looked at a lot differently going forward. This has been The Weigh-In.